Imagine, for a moment, that you are carrying an invisible backpack. Every time you have a negative thought, every time you criticize yourself, and every time you focus on what's going wrong, a heavy stone is added to that bag. You've been carrying it for so long that you've forgotten what it feels like to walk light. You're exhausted, your shoulders ache, and the world looks gray. But what if I told you that the weight isn't coming from your job, your bills, or your circumstances? What if the weight is coming from the way you choose to see them? Most people spend their entire lives trying to change the world around them, never realizing that the most powerful tool for change is already sitting right behind your eyes. Today, we're going to dive into a story that doesn't just offer motivation, it offers a lens through which you can finally see a different reality. Oliver was a 30-year-old architect living in the heart of Chicago. On paper, he was a success. He designed sleek buildings, lived in a modern apartment, and had a circle of ambitious friends. But Oliver was drowning. Every morning felt like a battle against a world designed to fail him. If his coffee was cold, it was a sign the day would be a disaster. If a client asked for a revision, it was proof that he wasn't talented enough. He was constantly drained, wondering why you feel so exhausted even when you do nothing. He worked long hours, yet he felt like running on a treadmill that was slowly pulling him backward. One rainy Tuesday, Oliver's car broke down in a quiet coastal town 3 hours away. Frustrated and cold, he ducked into a small, old-fashioned bookstore. The shop smelled of aged paper and cinnamon. Behind the counter sat Margaret, an elderly woman who seemed to hold a secret peace. Oliver let out a heavy sigh as he closed his umbrella. "Just my luck," he muttered. "The universe decides to break my car." Gently, Margaret looked up and smiled. "Or," she said softly, "the universe decided you needed a good book." Oliver scoffed. "I don't have time for optimism." Margaret didn't argue. Instead, she poured him a cup of tea and pointed to 2 large windows. "Oliver, come here. I want to show you something." Oliver followed her. The first window looked out onto a narrow alleyway. It was cluttered with trash bins, gray concrete walls, and a stray cat. It was dark, cramped, and ugly. "Seriously, tell me what you see," Margaret said. "A mess," he replied. "It's a dead end." Margaret nodded and led him to the second window. This window looked over a small garden. Despite the rain, the roses were vibrant. The grass was a deep, healthy green, and a small bird was bathing in a stone fountain. The light seemed to catch the raindrops like diamonds. "And here?" she asked. "It's beautiful," Oliver admitted. "It looks full of life." Margaret looked at him intently. "Both of these views exist at the same time, Oliver. Both are part of this building. But your experience depends entirely on which window you stand in front of." The power of positive thinking isn't lying. It's about realizing that the garden exists too. Thoughtfully, Oliver was quiet for a moment. He thought about his office, his apartment. He had spent years at the trash alley window. He was a professional at spotting flaws. "Curiously, but how do I change?" Oliver asked. "It feels like my brain is wired for the worst." Magically, Margaret reached under the counter and pulled out a small, clear glass marble. She handed it to him. "Wisely, every time you're at the wrong window, I want you to look through this marble. The world looks distorted through it, doesn't it? It reminds you that your perspective is just one version of the truth." Positive thinking is a muscle, Oliver. Start by finding 3 small things in the garden, even if it's just the sound of the rain or the taste of your tea. Energetically, Oliver took the marble back to Chicago. The first few days were hard. When a project got delayed, he felt the marble. He breathed out, took a breath, and forced himself to look for the garden. Slowly, the gray fog began to lift. He realized that the world hadn't changed. He had. If you plant thorns, you get scratched. But if you plant hope, success can actually grow. Months later, Oliver's buildings looked different. They were brighter, more daring. He was an architect of his own joy. The internal shift must happen first. If you've spent too much time in the alley, it's time to walk to the garden. The view is waiting for you. If this story touched your heart, give this video a like, hit that subscribe button, Join our community. Keep looking for the like. Proudly, this is the Virtue Lens.